Hello. Friday night. Anybody in here? I just went live. Three-way live. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Talk forever.
Anybody out there Friday night? Friday Night Lights. Here we go with the Fat Man Mike Nasty. Fat Man Mike Nasty. Fat Man Mike Nasty. Going live, going live. Am I live? Anybody out there? Where's everybody? This is Friday night. This is Sports Talk with the Fat Man. I did my hey Kurt Mankey. How you doing, buddy? First guy on Kurt Mankey. Who else is on here? That's what we're going with today. So we have the young guys taking on the old guys. You have Breeze taking on Golf, and you have Brady taking on Mahomes. So two veterans quarterbacks taking on the two young guys. We'll have to see how those young guys can handle the pressure. But that's where we're at in the playoffs. So Breeze, first game at 40, his biggest in 9 years. So he's 40 years old. He's been playing, Mr. Comeback. So Breeze, this is probably one of his biggest games to get them into the championship game, get them to the playoff for their Super Bowl since Katrina time. So bring that city back in it. So we'll see what Breeze is going to do. And then you got the Patriots with Tom Brady. See what Brady's going to do. See, you put the black hat on those guys because they're going to ride it all the way through. We're going to see what they do.
We're watching on YouTube.
Who's that?
My friend, he screenshot this.
Right.
Cracks me up.
So that's what we got. We got Brady. We got Brady, and we got against Mahomes, the young buck. The Rams probably will smoke the Saints. If they can run the ball, that's how they're going to smoke it, because they're going to run it because of the Saints. The linebackers aren't, not very big. They play their spots, but I think, if they can run the ball on them, the Rams will get it. And then they, once they open the run game, then they can pass the ball. But we'll see how if they can adjust. But the Saints are a little defense, a little scraggly, but we'll see. That's what they gotta do. Gurley and this guy Anderson. Anderson ain't just no fat back. He played at a couple places. I think he played in Denver. So Anderson, if they both get off and they do what they did last week, both run for 100 yards, it's going to be a long day for the Saints defense. They're going to be on the field for a while. So if you get both those backs clicking and running five yards a carry, they're going to be in trouble. So we'll have to see what it is. Mahomes. Mahomes is money, but remember, Mahomes, he's young. He's a young guy. He hasn't been in this. He hasn't been in this area. They say that he's good under pressure because he's been there, but I don't know. I can't go against Brady and stuff like that. I'd give Brady more money than I'd give Mahomes money, because there's a guy on YouTube saying that Mahomes is money. I'm saying that I'd never go against Brady. Brady's just been there. He's polished. He knows. He's been in it. He's been in 9 title games. He's won 5 Super Bowls. And that would punch a ticket for Andy Reid. If they can do it, that would punch that ticket for Andy Reid. Yeah, make sure that the balls are inflated all the way. See, now a guy on Facebook saying to check the balls, make sure that they're inflated all the way. Make sure that there's nothing fishy going on there in the Brady household. So, but yeah, one thing with him, he's been there. 5 Super Bowl rings. He's had 8 appearances in the Super Bowl, and they've won 7 AFC titles. With this guy being in there. For a guy that was picked 6th round, out of Michigan, he's been there. Him and Belichick, they've been a good combination. Always been hard to beat when it comes in January. They've always been in the title game somewhere, somehow. But yeah, I'd like for the young guy to take out the Patriots. Everybody's always against the Patriots. But when you get there and you're that good, that's what happens. People always go against you. And I like to see Mahomes as a young guy take it too. That would be something different. I'd like to see the Chiefs and the Rams go at it. But you got two veterans out there at the helm. You got Breeze that's been there too. And he's always the comeback kid. If you're down in the fourth and he has 2 minutes to go, he's just like Brady. He's able to pull the old comeback. So, and both those guys are, Breeze is 40, Brady's 41, and they're still throwing the football around, doing what they do. And then you got the young guys that are in there, scrambling, making plays. Mahomes, 50 touchdowns this year. That's pretty good. For his first full year playing, that's pretty good. And then you have Golf that came in. I think McVay does a good job with quarterbacks. The coach for the Rams. He calls the plays and he does a good job with the young guy. And then make sure that he, stays in the game and he doesn't throw a lot of the interceptions. So we'll have to see what they do and how they play. But yeah, I mean, those guys, when they get together, that'll be a high scoring game, the Rams and the Chiefs, like it was the first time. So that would be a good Super Bowl. But they have to knock off the old guys first to get there. And then we'll see where it goes from there. And the Saints, they could, I think they have a thing. Mark Ingram might be on his way out, but who knows? But they still got Kamar, so that's a good tandem right there. They can run the ball too, so that could be the same thing. They could get their run game going, and them and the Rams together be running the football at each other. Be like a good thing. But Maryland in basketball, the Maryland Terps ended up winning tonight. So they beat Ohio State 75-61. And Cowan and Fernando took over. Cowan had 20 points. Fernando had 15 rebounds. Cowan had 6 assists and 3 steals. They were 25 for 43. They were 58% in the field goal, which is great for a basketball team. That's a good shooting percentage from the field. They were 11 for 17 at the 3 point. They were struggling in the beginning of the year with 3-pointers and getting the ball in and out. That was 64%. Free throws, they were 14 for 16, 87%, and that was their seventh straight win. But they had 19 turnovers. 19 turnovers you can't do that. You can't turn the ball over 19 times. We just played our team, my daughter's team. We just played a winner's middle. We lost in overtime, 55-51, because the refs called a foul and they thought the basket went. The basket didn't go. It rimmed in and went out. So they gave the girl an AM1. They put her on the foul line, but the ball never went in the basket. 3 refs didn't see it. One ref said, I made the call, I didn't see it. The other 2 were just like, I thought I saw it, blah, blah. It's crazy. We would have won the game in regulation, but they went into overtime. And we, like I always say, you never put the ball in the ref's hands or anybody's hands. If you're going to win, you got to go out and do it yourself. You can't blame it on anybody else. You can't blame it on the ref. You got to score when you can score. When you get to the basket, you got to put the ball in the basket. You can't blame it on the refs because that's what it's gonna happen to you. You blame it on the refs. When it came down to it, we couldn't put it in the basket. So for the Ravens, they say that Wink Martindale is going to stay. I guess he hasn't. So that's good for the defense to make sure that our defense stays the way it is. But like I said before, we're gonna lose some guys to free agency or salary cap. That's something that the Costa has to do. He has to come down with the salary cap. He has to make room so we can get other guys in it. And I don't know if they get really bad ratings. And then you got two high-powered offenses there. I don't know if that would be a bad rating if it was the Rams and the Chiefs. I'd like to see the young kids go out there and sling the ball around and, take, 45, 40 game or something like that, like they did before. High scoring is good, and that's what the NFL likes. They like the high scoring stuff. They don't want to see the run game come back around and it's low points and stuff like that when they start not scoring a lot of points. They want that high powered offense. These guys throwing the ball already all improved. So like I said, the Turks won the night and they improved from the free throw line. So, they're getting better in all their fields. And they're ranked 19th and they're getting up there and they're playing together. So everybody's up there. I can't see that. You gotta hit the chat.
Here it is. I fixed it.
Oh, the hell? Nobody said nothing.
No, but I fixed it.
Oh,
now.
Patrick Mahomes' mother. All right, we got it.
No.
If you're going to talk on YouTube now, I got you. I didn't have it on. So if you're going to talk, I've been talking to guys on Facebook. Anybody else in there?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's, they like that high-powered game. So, the Ravens have Tucker, C.J. Motion, and Marshall Young. They're all to the Pro Bowl. The Raiders,
It was just a test to make sure.
the Raiders Pro Bowl. So the Raiders voted these guys to the Pro Bowl. And Tucker, he scored 141 points for us. He's one of the most accurate kickers, and he always gets snubbed from the Pro Bowl game. 2 years in a row they snubbed him, and he's probably one of the best out there. This year he missed a 53 and a 65-yarder. He missed 4 RUs, 2 were blocked, and 2 of them were beyond 50. That 65-yarder that he took, and then a 53-yarder that went wide. And he missed one point after, and that was a heartbreaker because that was during the New Orleans game. We thought we were going into overtime. Joe goes down. Scores. We think we're going to overtime, and we don't do it. So the Chiefs haven't been to the Super Bowl for a while. So they're aiming to get back there. And like I said, Andy Reid, he's looking for his day of glory. So I was looking the first, I like I like this time because the mock drafts come out, and I like to see where they're going to put guys and do things and stuff like that. You'll get 20 mock drafts by the time the draft does come around, but I like seeing where people are going to go and what they're going to do. So right now they have Nick Bosa going to the Cardinals first. For us, they have him taking the safety out of Delaware. That's the first one. I thought there was one mock draft they had us going for an outside linebacker. I think he was from Mississippi State. But they have Kyle Murray going to the Patriots. The quarterback, the Heisman Trophy winner, they have him running to the Patriots. I guess it's time to get themselves somebody backing up now that Garoppolo went to San Francisco, and they they don't have that. I see that the Cowboys parted way with Linehan on their offensive coordinator. So they might have a dynamic offense after Linehan is gone, since they got something different in there. And Drew Brees are making the case for him to be the MVP if he can lead them to one more victory. Let's see what they'll do there. But I would know who would be the MVP this year. Would it be Mahomes, these guys, Golf? Well, I'm coughing. But I can tell you, the Lady Terps, they lost yesterday to Michigan. Michigan State, the Spartans. I think they always have trouble with Michigan State. But they were number 9 for a while. Brenda Freeze, like I say, she's a good coach there from Maryland. So yeah, Linehan's out as the Cowboys offensive coordinator. They say that the Saints, Benjamin Watson, he's not gonna play in the NFC Championship. They say that Barry's gonna play for the Chiefs against the Pats. He has a heel. His heel was hurt, but they say that he's gonna be out there. He's gonna play. Hey, Charlie Sims, how you doing? Charlie Sims joined the picture. Good old Charlie Sims. They say Trent Dilfer took a job as a high school coach for his son, I guess, in Tennessee. My dogs are barking. Somebody must be up there. Christian McCaffrey, he gave an Army veteran tickets to the Super Bowl. Some of these guys do good things. McCaffrey, he's a good dude. He's, he was a good running back. I think he led the league in running and passing yardage and all that stuff combined. Catching the ball out of the backfield and running yards. I think he was number 1 in the in all-purpose yards. I can't stop coughing. But so who's the better option? They say in the NFL as a backup to Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. Would it be RG3 or Tyrod Taylor? Who would you want behind it? Both are experienced and they're familiar with the unconventional offense. So Taylor's going to be an unrestricted free agent. I'd stay with RG3 because I think he earned what he got. He sat around and he looked good in the preseason. And when he came in, he did his stuff. He mentored the boy pretty good. He did what he was supposed to do. He was a good teammate. He wasn't bad for guys. He kept his cool and he did what he was supposed to do. I think he would serve good as a backup to Lamar. I'd go with RG3. RG as Charlie calls him. But, he's paying his time. He did his time. He's still got life into him. He could be a good backup for somebody. He stayed with the Ravens. If they don't pick him up, I'm sure he's going to go somewhere. Just like I feel, I know everybody's up against the Colin Kaepernick thing. There's some teams that need quarterbacks. That kid threw the ball a couple of times. He's not a bad QB. You might have to let him back in, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen because of all the stuff that they're going through. These drafts, they have all these guys. They said 132 guys jumped out and went eligible for the NFL the most. That's the highest it's been so far. 132 guys declared for the draft before they were seniors, so they got out early. They say that's the highest class ever so far. 132 of these guys are trying to make their way. It's not a heavy quarterback draft. A lot of safeties. I think it's heavy in safeties and defensive line. So, and there's a couple. So I said we're gonna need a safety because they're probably not gonna bring Weddle back. They're probably the defensive lines is Arius Smith, guys like that, outside linebackers will need. They say free agent market for Manny Machado. They said they saw him in a White Sox hat, you know, saying that he's going to the White Sox. They said that they had an 8-year deal, but there was nothing really said about it. But they said that they said the Orioles got a pitching coach from Texas, and they said in Texas he wasn't all that good. You know that he had 1 year, like 2016, where I guess he had a couple Cy Young winners on the team that they were half decent, but but coaches aren't the guys that are out there throwing the balls, so you can't really hold them responsible. All they try to do is tweak what's going on with the guy and do things like that. So you can't really say it's the coach in some things, but they're saying that his tenure in Texas wasn't that good. He was in Houston with the Lions for a little bit, so that's where the connection comes with it. So he got this pitching coach that's coming in, but none of this has ever been, you know, there's been no meetings. Nobody said the whole coaching staff. Nobody knows about it yet. So this was just somebody I guess leaked this out, and they said they got him from somewhere from Texas, and there's really nothing been said about it. We don't know what their coaching staff looks like yet, and there's only a couple more weeks until spring training when they're going to have everybody in their catchers and pitchers and start doing their stuff. But that's all the football stuff that's going on. The Terps are improving. They got themselves number 19. They won 7 in a row. Stuff like that. You know, we'll see this year what Green Bay does. But how it's going to run with Aaron Rodgers out there. They said that playing to run the ball and let Aaron Rodgers go out and play. So they got to find themselves a running back because they haven't had one for a while. That's where they've always come short. 49ers are looking to, come off with a better off season. Thought they were going to do a little bit better, but when they lost Garoppolo, they kind of went downhill to see if they could turn it around for them. Oh, all you guys. Hey, Dan Riley's on. Hey, Dan Riley. Hey, Charlie Sims said we need a quarterback. I don't think we need a quarterback. I think he just needs to improve, and they need to work with him. I don't think we need a quarterback. I think he'll be all right when he starts developing a little bit more. You got to give him some time. You can't just jump on him. Say we need a quarterback. Hey, Dan Riley, how's it going, Dan Riley? Everybody say hello to Dan. Everybody else up here. But scores and highlights for you. I don't have nothing on there. They said the Eagles' options with Nick Foles, they can tag or trade, could be in play. They say he's unlikely to return to Philly. And they're wondering where he's going to end up and which method he'll be. Or if they tag him. I wouldn't tag him. Let him go. How are the Cowboys going to keep Cooper there, Mankey, Amari Cooper? They said they have priorities, and starting with DeMarcus Lawrence and Amari Cooper. They say that LeBron's going to start practicing for the Lakers this week. So, of this growing injury, that he's going to start running around. They're trying to save faith right now. Right now, the Jazz and the Cavs are in the third, and you got the Jazz up 89-53 on them. Yeah, the Celtics and the Grizzlies are the final. Celtics win 122-116, and the Nets beat the Magic 117-115. And you got the Pelicans and the Trailblazers just starting, and Pistons and the Heat. The Pistons won 98-93. You got the Clippers and the Warriors. They just started. Also, it's another. Let's see what the NHL has for us. Any hockey stuff going on? You got Detroit beating Calgary. They're tied. They're now beating 2-2. Pittsburgh's ahead of Arizona 2-1. Vancouver, Buffalo 2-1. Florida and Toronto. Florida won 3-1. Montreal beat Ottawa beat Carolina. In New York and Washington. I don't know what that is. Didn't have the score for New York and Washington. I haven't seen it. You got MMA. You got T.J. Dillashaw. They had weigh-ins. The guy that he was fighting came out with a fake snake and threw it on the ground with a rubber snake. And I guess he told him that he's going to destroy the guy or something. But yeah, that's kind of funny. See if he can get the title, Mr. Dillashaw. All this stuff goes on ESPN Plus now. They have a contract. The MMA is going to go on the ESPN. So if you like MMA, that's where you can find it on the ESPN Plus. Hey, Dan Riley, how you doing, buddy? But that's where you get all your good stuff from. So like I said before, the Ravens, they got to make some space, make some cap space. See how they're going to come up and be pretty shifty. See what the Costa can do now that the old guy Newsom, Ozzy's not in there. We'll see what he can do. We'll see how he handles it. See what kind of creativity he has in making space and dealing with free agents. Wide receivers, we need a bunch of them because Crabtree's probably not going to be there. I said this last night. Crabtree will probably move on. Brown will move on because, these guys want to catch the ball. Our offense ain't going to be that way. We're going to be a ground game offense. We're going to run the ball. They want the line to become nasty. They want to look for nasty guys that are going to brawl and, push guys around. That's something that they said that they're going to be looking at to make that offensive line nasty instead of sitting back and having to, protect the passer for 3 or 4 seconds and do all that stuff. They want guys that are going to maul guys down the field. And, we're going to run the ball with these guys with Dixon. I wonder if we should look into some of these free agent running backs that are going to be coming out. Like I said, Ingram might come up from New Orleans because, they got Kamara and they probably got somebody else in the back there. His contract is about ready to expire his rookie year. Don't know if they're going to give him money or put a tag on him or what. But, he'll be up. You got Le'Veon Bell out there somewhere. So you got guys that we can bring in there. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. We'll see what the Roman has in store. Like I said, they kept Martindale. He's not going anywhere. So he wasn't hired off anywhere. So you still got your defensive dude up, and you got your offensive coordinator that should be able to adjust to these guys and get the young guy to play. We got to get them more accurate in the pass game, so when they do come up again, they put 7 DBs and do all that stuff. Like the Chargers said, they dare you to throw the ball. You got to throw the ball and make the play. You got to hit it on the spot. So that's what he has to work on, his accuracy, get together. So that's where it comes in, where you got to have these guys together so he can pass the ball. That's one thing Joe never did. Joe never took his receivers out early and sat with them and got familiar with them. He never went in the summertime. And, I think he did it this year to get familiar with the guys. He finally, got out there and worked with the guys ahead of time before the training camps and the OTAs and all that stuff. But as far as that goes, and baseball's around the corner, we still don't know. Machado and Harper are still up. They got a couple trades that have been going on. Not a lot of movement yet, but it'll start up. That's a good thing too. I like watching that. I like to see where all the free agents go in baseball and who has what. See if the Orioles are gonna. They got some young talent. Let's see how the arms go. What they do with these. Harvey's always the guy that they look at every year for the past couple of years since he was their draft a couple of years ago. They've been watching him, young arm that they want to bring up. They got to get the farm system back. Make sure that they have guys that can step in and come up. They need an infield. They need to work on the middle infield, second and shortstop. They're saying again. They say they're going to put Trey Mancini, have him do a little bit of spot duty at first base. He could be the comeback guy for 2019 as long as he stays healthy and doesn't get injured. But they should have the corners filled. They got to find the third baseman too. I think the guy, Villar or whoever they had there, wasn't too good at third. I think we committed more errors last year. That's why we were 45 and 115. We didn't have very good infield. The outfield's stout. They're good in the outfield. Even if they don't re-sign Jones, Jones is probably gone. They had that guy Mullins working in there, so he'll be fine. You got Trey Mancini. You have a couple other guys on the other side, and then they always rotate that right side of the outfield. We'll see what Chris Davis and Trumbo do. Trumbo's coming back from injury. Davis has been slumping the last couple of years after he got that big contract. Hasn't hit more than 24 home runs. I think when he had that 40 some or whatever that he was doing, hasn't produced as well. But to me, a walk's as good as a hit, as long as you're not the strikeout king. A walk gets you on base, no matter what you do. But that's baseball. That's coming up. Spring training is going to be around a couple more weeks. You get to watch a little bit of baseball again. And you got these other things. You got these new football leagues coming in. I think they're starting one up, and then that XFL with the WWE. He's trying to do another one. But it's going to be more. It's not going to be so crazy. See how all that goes. And that's my sports talk for late night, Friday night, with the Mike Nasty. We've been on here for a little bit. Daniel Riley's in the house. Joe Bialis is in the house. Hey, Vince D'Amico, if you need a house, that's the man to see. To buy a house, you ask Vince D'Amico to get you a house. He's a good realtor, honest guy. So if you're looking for a house, you're in the area, look for Vince. So I'll be seeing you. This is Mike Nasty. This is the Fat Man. This was Friday night. Like I said, it came from a basketball game. We ended up losing in overtime, 55-51. My daughter's high school team, Liberty, took a hard loss. Like I say, don't blame it on the refs. But this one you could have blamed on the refs. But we're not going. So that's what we do. If you view it, you view it. If you don't, you don't. Charlie Sims. See you, buddy. Dan Riley. I was at a basketball game. How you doing, Dan Riley? No exercising in my Sunday's best. Here's another guy on Chris Carroll too. That's another great guy. That's my son's second dad. So if you need a house too, he's a good guy to give it to. Good realtor, honest people. Both those guys, Vincent and Chris, they'll do you right. If you need a house anywhere in Maryland, I'm sure they'll throw out the red carpet for you. Good guys. Hey Dan Riley, how you doing, buddy? No exercising in my Sunday's best. Exercising, I shoot that out on Thursdays. My producer has to be here so she can get it. No Sunday best. I don't even go anywhere on Sunday's best. So that's what you got, fellas. That's the Mike Nasty. That's my sports talk. That was for Friday night. See you Friday night with the Mike Nasty. Annie. See you, Benny. If you're still here. Money Mahomes, buddy. Hope he brings it to him. Friday night. That's it. With the Fat Man Mike.